All right.
We need to get better lighting if we're gonna do this again.
Better lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kevin, what's going on?
Hey, Kevin.
Can you guys hear us all right? Does this work? So I think this last part we'll do before the community stuff and our stuff. We'll just do the project updates.
Yeah, okay.
New project updates and the shop changes, and then we'll talk about our community stuff and our personal projects.
Sure. I want to go to the community stuff.
Community stuff. Tessa wants community stuff, y'all.
I'm ready.
How many people we got in here? We got 3. There was 6.
All right. Sounds like it's raining though. Maybe we're not close enough.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe
Maybe
we'll sit up here like this, and then we'll there we go. Then we'll adjust this camera over here. Hey, we're back in focus.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess it'll save everything, so we can go ahead and start.
Good evening.
Howdy, y'all. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys coming by to check in on us. And there's a few things to go over, and I'll try not to take too much of your guys' time. We're going to start by going over kind of the projects that we have in the shop right now, kind of a small update on each one of those, and what we're looking at as far as future projects coming into the shop, kind of what's next on the list. We don't have numbers put to those individual jobs yet, like as far as sequential order goes, but we do have a pretty solid list of what we've got coming up over the next few months. So we'll go over that, go over the cars, then we got some changes that we have made and are making in the shop, so we'll kind of go over those with you guys, let you know what we're looking at as far as job intake and outtake is concerned, and what we're going to be working on and what we're going to do. Once we get all the shop stuff finished up, we'll talk about community projects and what we're going to be doing, and then I got some personal projects of my own that I just kind of want to share with you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Go over like the shop page, personal page with our. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yes, I'm gonna do that. Yes, I'm gonna do that.
So everybody knows, you know where we are at. I guess that goes with our stuff.
Yep.
Because it's mainly about our stuff.
Right. So we'll start with cars. Right now we got the Honda Civic EK hatch in shop. It's getting really close to being able to move over to the paint shop and have the engine bay painted. Once the engine bay is painted on that thing, then it can have the front clip reassembled for the last time, hopefully, and we can put all that stuff together, and then the client's going to come over. He's going to kind of help put the front suspension together and some of the bits and pieces and kind of make it a driver before it leaves, and we'll finish it up, and that'll be ready to go. The 2JZ Supra, the 87 the 87 Toyota Supra, we got the transmission back for it yesterday. It's got full Marlin crawler shift forks in it, all new bearings, seals. The synchros all got replaced. It's a brand new, fresh, ready to go transmission with a bunch of aftermarket cool goodies in it. So we're still working with the machine shop. The machine shop was not able to save the crank. They were not able to save number 6 connecting rod. So they have a lead and are trying to source a new crank and connecting rod for number 6, and the crank we bought them in. As far as we know, the head is okay and the cams are okay. So machine shop's still working on Supra, and we are about the same process with it as far as being able to paint the engine bay as we are the Honda. So Honda Civic and the Supra are probably going to move to paint here probably at the same kind of days, and then that'll be that. Once the engine bay is painted, we'll be waiting for the carbon fiber hood to come in. we'll be waiting for the engine to come back from the machine shop, and then we should be ready to go on that. We have an Aerostar van that we're putting a 302 roller motor in. Steve's van. Steve's not on social media, so he doesn't see these. He may see our YouTube updates, and I will put this on YouTube. So, Steve, if you're watching this is going to be a super cool thing. I'm really glad you brought your rig to us, and I'm glad we can finally bring your project to fruition. I know how many years you've been looking forward and how much you love your van. So that motor, last I knew we were number 7 on the list at the machine shop for having that crate engine sent to us. So any week, hopefully we'll see a crate motor show up. We've got the rest of the stuff, and then I'm going to do a automatic transmission here locally for it. So we should be able to bring that stuff to fruition pretty quick when we have the space for that. I've got a Dodge pickup outside that came in. It needs to have the windshield taken out of it. It's probably got some rust underneath the windshield and some other seal issues and whatnot. I wanted to try and get my hands on that today because weather kind of permitted me to take the glass out of it, but I just wasn't able to get there. But it is like next on the list, and part of what I'm working on right now we'll talk about in the next phase of this video. But right now it's really next for me to get my hands on. I was just trying to get the front clip kind of put together for the Civic and finalize my ideas for the Supra, so that way I can get my hands on the Dodge. We had a 2000 Jeep Cherokee that I posted an update for yesterday. We're still most of the way done with that. The exhaust is now done that you seen us cut yesterday. That's done. Headlights are working again. Everything seems buttoned back up. When I was driving it yesterday and pulled back into the shop yesterday, we noticed a funny smell under the hood. I used it to go and get the Supra transmission so I could put another 20-30 miles on it. It was fine all the way there, fine all the way back. But when I pulled in the driveway, we noticed a funny smell. So I'm going to take it for another loop and make sure that everything is all good to go, and then I should be able to wash it the final time, and then that thing should be ready to go and go home, and we'll square up at that point. I have the Buick and the El Camino, both that have been in the shop for full restoration, body and paint for some months now. The Buick, I'm still waiting for Vintage Air to ship me an air conditioner. It's been almost 3 months, and I'm still waiting for Vintage Air to put a kit together for me. It is a hybrid kit, but they make them all to order, so I'm on the list somewhere. They said that they're still good for it, but I'm still waiting for shipment on that. The El Camino, I have everything I need now for the El Camino. There are some bits and pieces that I could buy, but by the time I buy them and wait for shipment, I'm just going to go ahead and make those metal pieces, and we're just going to push that ball down the hill and just go for it. So I'm going to get through some other stuff before I can get back to the Buick and the El Camino. But like I told both of the clients with the Buick and the El Camino, my goal, and it was and still is, that to get them both to kind of the same point to where the metal work is done on them, and then I can do body work and sanding kind of simultaneously on both of those cars. And then kind of like I was talking about with the Honda and with the Supra, you'll kind of see those back to back go through primer stages and go through body and paint stages. So those aren't going to go outside. Those are going to stay in. Those are the first on the list for major restorations. I have 3 Broncos. Where's my fingers at? I have 3 Broncos on the list for full restoration, body work, paint, bed liner, the whole 9 yards. The first one is the one that you guys have been seeing in the shop, and I haven't posted a lot of pictures on it because we did mechanical mostly first, and then it had some like touch-up body and paint to do. It's the red and white. It's 1969 Bronco that's in there with the 302 and the 3-speed on the tree. We did an exterior inspection on that vehicle. The client, it's new to the client. It's an older restoration, and it looked like it was in pretty good shape. There was just some touch-up stuff that needed to be done, and we did a good detailed exterior inspection on it and got back with the client, and he decided that touch-up probably wasn't going to be what he was looking for, and rather than go through the pains later or slowly, he was going to buy once and cry once, so to speak. And he said to go ahead and schedule him in for full body and paint to blow it apart and paint it right and fix the rust issues and fix any of the other stuff that we've seen. So he made a major commitment on that vehicle, which many of us know, if you guys have seen it, that Bronco is super nice already, and he wants it painted to be nicer. So that one's in there. There's a little bit of a scheduling issue with that one because it was kind of not on the full restoration body and paint list, but it was their first for mechanics, and now it's turned into full body and paint. But now that it's their first, but some people were waiting for body and paint longer, I'm still kind of trying to decide where to stick that vehicle in at. I still have it. I started some disassembly on it, but it's still weather tight. Right now it's outside. We'll come back to that kind of scenario here in just a little bit. I just got a couple more cars to get through, and then we'll be on to the next. The other two Broncos that I was talking about, there's another Bronco that's an early Bronco that's coming in from the Tiger Tualatin area. It was a walk-in client that found us on social media, and he came in to talk, and kind of classic scenario to where he had taken it to a couple other people and just couldn't get work done or couldn't get the right stuff done, or he'd been saving and working on this rig for a long time and looking forward to body and paint, and he just couldn't get there with anybody. So we talked to him and came to a price and came to an agreement on what we tentatively thought it was going to look like and what parts he had, and so he's on the schedule. It's an early Bronco that's going to go into a full like metallic blue color, not quite a midnight blue color, but more of a royal blue color. It's got a lot of metal work. I got two quarter panels to change, the rears to change, the roof has bolt holes all the way down that they bondoed over, so I'm gonna have to get all the bondo out and then weld them and redo all the bondo and all the top and all that. So that one's going to be after the next Bronco that I'm going to talk about, which is the 78 Bronco that's here. The 78 Bronco is another one that is super special and super cool. It's a 1 year only, 2 year only rig with a 1 year only tri-color factory color package on it, and this owner has had the vehicle in her family for pretty much her whole life. She's my age and drove it to high school and had her kids in it, and her remembers basically her whole life in it, and she's decided that she wants to get it restored now and wants to keep it. So
what's really cool is we've done quite a few, well maybe not quite a few, but we do run into a few people. Those will be 4 that I can think of off the top of my head that have owned the car. Either they got it from their parents or they got it in high school. The 4Runner was one of them. There's just things like that, or and I think that's cool too. Those are those are fun.
Yeah. And those are the projects I really like. I have a kind of a family connection with vehicles. They're part of
story.
our vehicles are all part of our families. So when people come in with a story and a history, and then combine that with either the horror stories or just the trust in us, or whatever the case may be, we really appreciate and honor that. So those are the ones that we really like. And the next one I'm going to talk about, same kind of a deal. It's a 1960 Chevy Apache pickup, 4-wheel drive, that the owner inherited from his father. His father had it, and it's all bone stock, and I think it might be like a highboy or a farm edition rig or something like that, because it's kind of big. And it's on its original 4-wheel drive running gear with the original 6-cylinder in it, and all the sticks inside of it and all that. He inherited it from his dad. It had been taken apart, not running for a number of years. The bed was in shambles. Because the bed was in shambles, it was rusty. So he's got all new parts for it, a new wood grain floor, new chains for the tailgate. He sourced a new tailgate. And so we're going to put the bed all back together. We've got kind of the floor rust treated right now and the rails ready to go. I'm getting ready to work on the bed sides and shave a couple of the holes for some aftermarket gas fillers and gas tanks that were in the bed at one point. Once I get the bed sides shaved and get the bodywork ready on the bed sides, then we'll be able to assemble that bed with all the new parts, and we're going to bring that rig into the shop, and then my mechanic's going to kind of go through it and get it running, get it driving, get the brakes working, kind of get it ready to go back on the road, and then we're going to put that bed back on it, and we're going to make it a whole vehicle. And then at that point, he's going to be able to take that back and use it because it'll be roadworthy, and then he's going to save his pennies for maybe doing a paint job or a restoration down the road. I've already have the bed parts, and I've already kind of started those bed parts throughout kind of the gaps. So he's already in the shop, he's already in process, but I got to get my hands back on it to be able to bring that to fruition. The Catfish Camaro is probably the next one that you'll see come in for heavy mechanics and a full kind of a build without doing body and paint right off the bat. We've got most all the parts we need for it finally. We started ordering for this car in June, and the client was gracious enough to be understanding enough that he put down payments for all of his parts up front, and has been extremely patient with all of this shipping and parts process and just waiting. I literally, he bought the car, and I literally went with the trailer and helped him pick it up from the dealership the day he bought it. So he's never even had his car since the day he bought it, and he put a bunch of money down to get parts to get the build going. So he's going to be one of the next ones that comes in. He's been on the list for a while. I haven't talked about it a lot. I've been kind of letting some pictures go and kind of building up to showing you guys what we got going on. We did take it to a car show and kind of show about it, but it's going to be a really, really, really special, really cool build, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it's coming in pretty quick, but I got some of these other things that are in front of it that I'm going to talk about. I also have a 1972 or 71 Ford F-250 Highboy pickup. That's for a really close friend of mine. I would consider client, community member. Like, he's just a really supporting guy, and we have a personal connection, and he's done some stuff to help me out throughout the last couple of years of being in Dallas, and so I'm really looking forward to being able to do a good job on his pickup. So that's what's coming up. And then he also has another, like, his tow truck that's got some issues on the roof and the hood and stuff like that I'm going to take care of as one of my last small jobs, and that's kind of leading into what I was going to talk about next. So coming to the small jobs, I'm trying to flip to my pages. I got notes, so I try to remember all this stuff for you guys. So when it comes to
in that frame.
oh, I'm sorry guys, over here. I'm recording in the other phone, so that's fine.
Okay,
So if this doesn't work out here on the live video, I'm going to post this on my YouTube video, or my YouTube channel, and maybe my Instagram if it takes it. But anyway, going back to the jobs in the shop and the small stuff and projects like this, we've really done some soul searching and some looking inward over the last couple of weeks to figure out what we really want to do with the uptake in volume, and we've come to a realization at the same time as a couple of things have happened. I lost my help at the shop for the most part, so it's just me and my mechanic Keith. We no longer have an office manager, and I no longer have an in-shop, like, general shop helper, hand type person. So I did there for a little bit, and I was really looking forward to ramping that volume up. My business came, the volume picked up. You guys have been,
heavy,
you guys have been giving me a lot of work, and I'm really thankful for. So that led me to putting some people on. And then once I put those people on, they were doing a really good job, and it was evident to me that I need to get these guys fed and keep these guys taken care of. So I really put my nose to the grind and tried to get in enough work to keep them working. Well, I did that, and we were fairly successful at bringing enough work to where I feel like I could keep training those guys and they could keep working, and we were on the right track. And then some things happened in personal lives, and people move on, and nothing personal to anybody, bygones be bygones, but the reality is that it's down to me and Keith. Tessa, my wife, she works a semi full-time job, so she's only available to help us a couple of days a week. So really we're back down to the normal me and a helper kind of a guy. And Keith does a really good job at taking up the other part of what I normally don't feel comfortable doing, which is the mechanic side of stuff, which is doing the motor swaps. He's doing it over there right now, doing a gear swap on a Jeep right now, which is something I never offered as a service before.
We love you, Keith.
We love you, Keith, man. You're doing a kick-ass job, and just keep it up, man. I appreciate you. Anyway, so he's able to offer some of the motor swap stuff, some of the general, if you need a ball joint changed, if you need a tune-up done, you need oil change, that's what he's kind of there for. But while we're talking about that, we also come to the realization that Keith is there for me, and we do major projects on a regular basis, and part of those major projects, and part of the reason why I decided to put on a mechanic full-time, was so that when I get done with body and paint, and we get those projects really close to the end of fruition, I don't have to outsource you guys' vehicles to somebody else that you may or may not know, or you may or may not be comfortable with or trust. I can keep your vehicle in-house, and we can kind of keep our team together, and I can put a guy on it that I trust, and we can get your vehicle completed to as much as the humanly possible, to where you're not jumping around to the mechanic shop, to the upholstery shop, to the electronic shop, to the body shop, to the paint shop. You can just bring it to me, and we'll work on it, and we'll bring it to fruition. So we're going to continue to work it that way. But I need you guys' understanding that going forward from here for the next couple of months, he's going to be pretty busy with these major jobs that I kind of just went over. We've got the Supra, the van, the Catfish Camaro, and yada yada down the list. So if you're willing to wait for me for my work, I'd love to have you. But I need to ask for your understanding that it's going to kind of fit into the gaps in between when Keith's not busy, and we're not kind of super slammed up. Right now it's a good opportunity. I got that year job in there, and it was really great, and it fit well. But if I bring in a Camaro and I tear the engine and transmission and the entire suspension out of it, I might not have room for yours until he gets his back together. And if I run into parts train, if I run into parts train problems or things happen, it's just going to take as long as it takes. And I'm not willing to sacrifice the quality on your guys' rig, and I'm just not willing to sacrifice. I got a moral compass here, and I follow it, and I am honest, and I treat you guys well, and I kind of want to, continue to base the foundation of my business like that. So call me if you got a project. If I can't get you in a timely manner, I'm just going to say no. If I know I got a gap coming up, or I feel like I can do it, I'll get you in. Excuse me, but the mechanic's going to be pretty busy here coming here forward. We're going to do our best to slow down and, in fact, probably stop taking some of these smaller jobs. Some of the fenders and bumpers and hoods and like I got a motorcycle tank over there. I had a Jeep Cherokee that I was working on, just a fender and the bottoms of the doors and just some special spots on it just to try to help the person out. And while I was doing that, it's kind of what I'm accustomed to doing, is just kind of doing what comes my way and helping you guys out. But while I was doing this and while we were building up the volume, we kind of fell dormant to all the full restorations that were coming in the door and building up on the schedule. And then we kind of turned around and looked and actually started to make a real schedule and look at what jobs we had ahead of us that were actually full paint, full body, full restoration, big kind of jobs that take a lot of time and take a lot of effort and sorry, I'm struggling with the word, but you just got to pay attention to them. You got to be on them for a long time, and we have a lot of those coming in the shop, and because of that, I need to stay on those to bring those to fruition for you guys. And I felt bad over the last couple of months that projects of those types haven't been moving out the door as fast as even I would like to see. And so I'm been really trying to focus on and evaluate why that is. And a lot of the reason why that is because I'm taking a lot of my time to try to do these smaller little jobs that, and it's not really about the money. It's more about the time allocation. It's more about how much time I can spend on what vehicle is taking a priority at that point. And so
the small jobs get like pushed. Or like they have to fit in between, and they're almost, it's just not.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of time away from the bigger jobs, and I know that the bigger jobs are what are the priority right now, and I have a lot of them, and if I don't
take a lot of time.
If I don't prioritize, then those guys are going to take a lot of time, and then nobody's going to win. So what we're going to be looking at doing going forward is that my shop is really going to be building full meal deal kind of projects. We have full restorations. I'm a second generation custom paint shop. I'm a second generation fabrication shop. I'm second generation in basically putting cars together from scratch. I have a lot of those jobs on my plate, and I have very little help to do those jobs. I've had a lot of offers to come help. I'd love to come help. Call me and I'll come help you. I'll come help you. I want to come to work. The problem and the reality with that is that the learning curve for what I do is so steep and takes so long to get someone up to speed that now, based on the workload that we're looking at, I don't have the time to stop to take my time to train that person that would be coming in. There's nobody out there in the field that's willing to come to work that kind of knows this industry and knows what they're doing. I'm one of the last people out there doing customs. family owned, small joint kind of deal. And these are some of the reasons why, is because there's not a lot of people doing it. It's hard to make a living. It's hard to do cars. And not a lot of people just don't want to do that kind of stuff anymore. And so I'm only one person. I know that. I'm not trying to blow smoke or pull the wool over my own eyes or your guys' eyes by saying yes to all these projects over and over and over. So we're really going to start focusing on those bigger projects, and we're going to stop taking the smaller projects. I have some smaller projects that are on the schedule, on the list, in the shop, and that's really what we've been taking the last week and week and a half, 2 weeks to take care of. We're trying to get those done and out of the shop and off of our plate and out of our hair, so to speak, so that we can really focus on the bigger jobs that are in the shop, the ones that take priority, the ones that you guys and us too are really looking forward to seeing come to fruition. And I know some of you have been very patient with us, and I want to make sure I take care of you and come the other side of it. So I just want you guys to know and that we're making that change. We're really going to be diligent about it, and we're going to be looking forward to working on some of those bigger projects. So I'm going to be less likely to say yes if you call me and just want me to paint, some fender skirts or, a body kit, or, you want me to work on a semi-nose or something like that. I'm going to be real hesitant to take that kind of work until I get some help in. And I can't stop to train anybody. So, a body guy or something like that, maybe we'll talk. But other than that, we're really, really busy. And I really got to just put my nose down and start focusing on your guys' projects so they start coming out the door. I'm working every day. I'm accomplishing things on stuff every day, but I need to be able to bring the projects to fruition and bring them all the way out the door, so that way the completion for you guys, and not just do a little bit of work on each one as I go. That only takes me so far. So that's what we're kind of be looking at doing going forward.
Yeah, I know it's poor quality, and I'm afraid to push this button because this is our first time live. So I don't know
No, it's just
really what everything
it's low
does.
FPS because the camera that we're on the computer has a low frame rate.
Well, yeah. Okay, so this is a new computer, so
Yeah.
that's why we don't know
And again,
all about it.
and again, where I'm filming this on my good camera over here, I just didn't want to go live on it, so that way I could see your guys' comments. So we're learning. This is our first one. Bear with us. We'll get you a good one up on YouTube later if you want to rewatch this. Looks like 27-minute video. Geez, I'm sorry, guys. So anyway, that kind of takes care of that. We're not going to really be taking small jobs in. Keith the mechanic, Keith the mechanic, he's going to be super busy going forward. I'm going to try to put together a calendar for all of these projects that I just talked about. Now, this calendar that I'm talking about, this hypothetical calendar, is not going to be like a date calendar. It's going to more be of a sequential number calendar. And then I'll continue to use my Facebook and YouTube to update you guys on video updates on where each one of the projects are. But basically what I'm saying is that, okay, you're number 7 on the list, you're number 4 on the list, you're next up on the list. And then when that next one comes up and gets closer, then I can start to give you a date when you can bring your rig in, or when we're ready to start on it. And then we'll rotate that date as we go. You want to get in on that list, you just get a hold of me and we'll go over your car and we'll get in on that list. I'm going to continue to use the time clock for all of my billing. I've been kind of doing some of them I've been doing on estimate, so you'll come in and you'll get an estimate from me, and then I'll try to hold myself to that estimate. And then I started a new time clock for me and the employees. The time clock works really, really well. The other part of this is that I've got my hourly rate pretty low in comparison to the market, in comparison to the industry. And so I want to kind of maintain that. So the way that I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do an estimate at the beginning. I'll always give you guys an estimate, but the estimate that I give you is going to be an estimate. That is a true estimate. I'm just guessing at what I think it's going to cost to the best of my ability. And then we're going to, with the knowledge that I have, which is 2 generations worth and my whole lifetime. So I dare somebody to know more than me.
Right, but with the knowledge that you're given.
Right.
Like, because it's a general estimate of the car. You're not digging into it quite yet. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then we'll track all of your guys' hours on the time clock. The time clock will give you an accurate to-the-minute punch directly to your bill. I have to input your notes for what I'm doing before I can clock in or clock out. So you guys have a direct line of communication to what I am doing for each one of your bills. I'll punch them on the hours. If it ends up being less than what your estimate was, you make out good. If it ends up being more than what your estimate is, then it's going to cost you a little bit more, and that's just what it is. I'll do my best, as we all do, but this is the nature of the beast. Sorry, I got people knocking on my door. Just a second.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, sorry about that. We're busy. Anyway, I'll just keep the time track punches accurate, and my hourly rate's low enough that I work quick enough that I hope you guys trust me and see what I'm billing you for, and there won't be any question going forward. Like I said, I'll estimate it up front. I'll give you that estimate on paper. But as far as the bill is concerned and how I'm going to bill out, I'm going to continue to do it monthly at the end of the month. Do it hourly, and we'll just roll forward from there. Hope I have your trust and understanding with that, and I think it's going to work out just fine for everybody. You might even win more than you lose. The last thing I wanted to touch on, as far as the shop updates before we get to community stuff, is my video updates. Oh, we'll let Tessa come back. She wanted to talk about this too, so we'll let her come back. We're going to talk about video updates, babe, for personal and shop.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to just make you guys aware and make a point that my video updates, so I have a community, which is Ride Revival and Outdoor Adventures group. My shop page shows all of my work pictures and my work update videos. That's Ride Revival and Outdoor Adventures on Facebook. And then I have my personal page, which is just John Parmener's personal Facebook page. Now, I did this as a concerted effort for you guys. And the reason I did this way for you guys is so that if you want to know what's going on in the shop, if you want to know what's going on with your projects, you're curious, you just want to follow, you're interested in the shop, the work, the ins and outs, the day-to-days, any of the what's going on with just the shop, you follow the shop page, okay? If you like our community, you want to go to a Solve event, you want to come camping with us, you like our car meets, you like our car shows, you generally like what wheeling, you know, whatever it is that we got going on, then through that Facebook page, you join our group, our Ride Revival and Outdoor Adventures group, and that's where we do most of our camping trips and most of all that stuff that we just talked about. My personal page is where I post the stuff for my personal stuff, which is like when I work on my Jeep or when I work on her Honda, or her motor went out last year, we put a new crate motor in that. Any of the personal stuff that we do that may or may not be at the shop, but it's the personal stuff on my personal time, that goes on my personal page. Going along with that, I want to make this point. They are not a direct reflection of each other. Yeah. What I am doing on my personal page is not a direct reflection of what I am doing with my shop time or with my community time. I do a very diligent effort to make sure that those are split. So when I'm working on my Jeep, it's after 5 p.m. when the shop would normally be closed.
And Kevin, you can attest. A lot of people know we're there.
And that's where you'll find.
And nights. Yes, that's where you'll find us.
You'll find me is on the weekends in between events and stuff like that. So I've been working on my personal stuff a lot more lately because we devoted my entire summer worth of evenings and weekends to trying to get my XJ back on the road so that we could get the community revamped, because the community has really suffered over the last couple of years, especially with what's been going on. We all have been kind of down and out. My rigs have been down and out, so I really put the BS aside and said, I'm going to get this dang Jeep done and we're going to go do stuff this winter, and that's what I did this summer. I had a few comments and questions, and people reach out to me and say, oh, well, he's real busy and he's working on his Jeep and he'll get to you, kind of a deal. It's not a direct reflection of each other. If you want to see how busy I am in the shop and what's going on in the shop and the ins and outs of the day-to-days, that's where you follow me, is at the shop page. If you want to see the cool stuff I'm working on or getting ready to do personally, send me a friend's request. But just make sure and understand that those are separated for you and for the clients on purpose. If there's any question... hey, Dorothy. If there's any question, my phone's always on and you can always reach out to me. I hope that clears up the last of that. And that kind of rolls into community. My Jeep's done. Finally. I got like a bolt left, and I fixed the heater, and I think I'm going to go four-wheeling in the morning. I don't know who with, but we'll see how that goes. We're going to get back into going camping. We're going to get back into doing events and, really enjoying other people's company. Kind of what got us into this whole thing was that we used to frequent a lot of other people's events. We went out to the Cascade Cruisers poker run. I just talked to Bones on the phone a few minutes ago about some projects we have in the shops. And then we talked about going to the Halloween poker run, which was on my list of events to go. So we're going to try to go to that. That's where we really, those are our people. That's where we really have the most fun. That's where our heart is and where our family is. So we're really going to get back out into that and make that a more regular thing, and get the community kind of boosted up a little bit. So feel free to post out there in the community on the Facebook page, reach out to other members. We're going to have some stuff going on here pretty soon. But I also want to stress to you guys that this year of any years, there's been us and a lot of other members that we've been following and going back and forth with that have really put the BS aside and got their crap together and are ready to go. And so if you guys want to come out, I know there's always newbies. I know there's always people that have not come with us before. By all means, we would love to have you. But Tessa and I and my family would like to stress to you that some of us have been around in this ride revival thing for a couple of 3 years now, and we kind of know how we like to do it and kind of how the ropes go. Come out ready to go, and don't come out leaning on other people, please. Get your shit together. Sorry, pardon my French, but we're ready to go out and have a good time. We're ready to get back to what got us together in the first place, and we don't really want to have anybody, us or them, or indifferent, frustrated or cold feet, or
not to be keep up, but you kind of got to keep up. We just spent all summer working on our Jeep, so we're ready to go.
And if you guys need help, by all means reach out to each other. That's what the community was built for, is so that you guys can reach out to each other. But let's go have some fun. Let's come out with a serious attitude. You guys know how camp etiquette is. You guys know how trail etiquette is. So let's just get our rigs together and let's go out and let's have a good time. We're ready to go do a lot of fun stuff. And whether that be cars, Jeeps, or whatever, Tessa and I are just brimming with ideas after the last couple of years of sitting around. So anyway, I think that's that with...
I've got my own adventure list.
Yeah, so she really does too. I lost my notes here.
Well, I don't know who still... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so last thing I wanted to touch on is the personal projects and community projects at the shop, specifically on the shop's property. Including myself, I'm going to ask everyone to kibosh it. I'm taking as many of my personal rigs home again as I can. I'm taking as many of my parts home as I can that are personal parts. And if we need to use the slabs or need to use the tools on a weekend when really truly there's nothing else going on, which is sparse right now, then it's there and available. But for the future, we're not going to be doing community work projects and having a buddy come out and use the space to fix his rig up and finish it. I know everybody's got stuff that they're looking to do. I know space constraintment's a problem. I know trying to find dry space in winter is a problem. Everybody wants their projects done, and not everybody has the means to be able to hire me to do those things to their vehicles. I've been letting you guys do that, and it's been working out fine up to this point. It's just come too much. I've got too many full restorations at the shop that they look like torn apart old rusty cars when they come in. So I got quite a few of those sitting out front.
And that's quite full.
And combined with my rusty, broken down pieces of crap, it's not been a fun situation. So I'm going to ask you guys to just help me out and ease back on that, and we're just going to kind of kibosh that and take everybody's rigs home. There's a couple out there that are getting finished up. I'm not kicking you out. Let's just get them finished up and get them out of there, and then we'll just move forward. And everything will be cool.
Still playing a lot of car Jenga, right?
Yeah, that's what we call it, car Jenga.
We got to move cars all the time.
Cars, yeah, all right. So anyway, I think that about covers it. That was some crazy 40-minute video. So if you guys are still watching from the beginning to the end,
who's still watching. Well, Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Oh, you're adorable.
I appreciate you, Dorothy.
But I didn't know, if
oh, she's in DC, babe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's all late over there. You can go to bed, Dorothy.
Oh, it's late. Well, wait. No, wait. It's Friday night. 9:30. Yeah, you go out in DC on Friday night.
That's right. You go, girl.
But I didn't know if Derek was still watching. If you like had any questions or wanted to say anything about his project, or Kevin, because you're not. Oh,
I see you, Kevin. I see you.
We see you, and we're super excited.
Yeah. So yeah, open forum. If I'll be here for a minute, if you guys want to ask questions or you got comments, questions, concerns, we're gonna go back through these comments real quick. Oh, Dorothy's coming home tomorrow. Right on.
I assume you're flying, so fly safe. Have a great trip. Yeah,
no
we
questions.
talked about the volume and the.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll put this up on the other channels. I'm staring at the wrong camera, so you guys got to deal with that.
Yeah,
But
that's not,
whatever, I'm over here.
That's what I was thinking. It was like that's better lighting, but not a better view. This is a better view, but not better lighting.
Anyway, yep, I'm looking forward. I just got to kick a couple small jobs out of the shop, and I know those guys have been waiting. And then I'll have my hands back on the El Camino and the Buick, and then the Broncos are coming in next, and then yeah, I got a list, and you guys will see my list and get your numbers. So
sorry. Okay. I'm good. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I can't wait to go out wheeling again. Yeah. Jack, you're more than welcome.
yeah, anytime.
Anytime.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna kill this video. Appreciate you guys hanging out and watching us. It was about 40 minutes, so I know that was even more than I thought it was. But
we did it kid free. Well,
yeah.
we almost got through.
We had a door knock and a little intrusion. So
yeah.
And some grainy video, and I don't know about the audio, but anyway, we tried. I got a good one over here. So we'll see you when we see you. I appreciate all the support and appreciate all the business. You guys rock it on the community. I honestly, this is from the heart. I have known no other community out there that has as little members as we have, as little active members as we have, and we can post something right now, and the stuff that this group will accomplish is far beyond driven compared to other groups that are into the thousands of members. So that is something you guys ought to be proud of, and something I'm definitely proud of and looking forward to getting back to. So Solve's coming back up, camping's coming back up. We're gonna go to track days next summer. We're gonna get our rigs back together. I got my Jeep done, so we're gonna go wheeling. But anyway.
Oh yeah, Derek, I forgot you were 4-wheel driving that Comanche.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get back out there and see everybody.
Anyway, I appreciate you guys. We'll talk at you soon. You guys have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Hope I see you on the trail tomorrow. If you'll be out there, we'll find you somewhere. Have a killer night, guys.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
All right, it's over. Okay, bye-bye.